Very good.
So entrepreneurs, yeah. So they're looking for opportunity, and if you can solve their issues, same as whether it's a house or it's a car or it's a business, you know, I like doing business with things that have an extra zero on it. You know, make a
Hey,
little bit more
Steve.
money.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Good.
Hey, how's it going on that? You still have me thinking about that house in Florida where you said that really low mileage old Ford was sitting at?
It's still there. I was there yesterday.
Mhm.
I'm in Kissimmee tonight,
Cool.
but I traveled down. It's in Fort Myers.
Okay.
Listen, I bid on. My contract's 11 years old on that house.
Wow.
They still haven't come together. The damn car is still in the garage. It ain't going nowhere.
Hey, so since high school, me and my buddy that went. Long story short, went in the Air Force for 20 years. My buddy did, and we've known each other since we were 13. And he bought up. He's got about 30 or 40 Mustangs, Fairlanes, Galaxies, you name it. And he just said he bought them dirt cheap when he was in the Air Force, and he has a restoration business.
Wow.
But he still has the 57 Fairlane 500 convertible that we drove around in high school before we had our licenses.
I had one of those when I was a kid. I was 16, right?
Yeah.
And it was sitting in the side of a gas station. The guy goes, "I'll take $25 for this car." So I said, so my dad comes down. I didn't have a driver's license. My dad comes down. He goes, "This damn thing runs?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Put the top down." So he goes, this big monstrosity, hydraulics, cables, goes into the trunk, and it never came out again after that. My father goes, "We're done. Walk away." This was a hard top convertible, a hard top. The roof used to get the whole metal roof would get up and fall down and go into the trunk. I could talk about cars all night. We got to be careful.
Same here.
What's $25 then translated into today?
26.
$26.
It wasn't worth the $25 I paid for it. So I used to be able to buy cars like that. I mean, my first car cost me $5. People say, you want this car? Get it out of my driveway. Give me $5.
My first one, the first vehicle I had was $150. It was a '63 Ford pickup, short bed, three on the tree. Yep, $150. I bought it at an auction.
Wow.
In high school.
All right. One quick story, then we're gonna talk about real estate. That's
three on the tree,
right, Ed?
Yeah, 3 on the tree, baby.
All right, listen to this. My next door neighbor, where I grew up, all right, he had his son I think his son was in the Air Force, and in 1957 he ordered a Chrysler 300 convertible with the Hemi. It was one of the first cars that had the Bendix electro ejection.
It already sounds amazing,
right?
Yeah.
So, you heard nothing yet. So it's white car, red rolling pleated type interior, I guess. The white top, right?
Wow.
And something happened to the son. He got really, really, really sick, and he died in 1958. Right now, the father didn't have the wherewithal to sell a car. So they had 2 houses back then. One had a deep garage that went down the side of the house, well, actually the front of the house, and down into the basement. Well, he put the car downstairs in the basement, and he filled it, and he put it in a bag that the Air Force uses to do something with planes that they do out in the country. Filled it with helium or some kind of gas, right?
Keep all the elements out of it. I gotcha.
Yep. So now it's in the basement of this house, right? It's in the garage. His daughter, now the parents pass away, right? He had one daughter, and the father, the old man said to me, because I love cars. He goes, "One day this is going to be your car. When I'm gone, I'm going to make sure this is your car." Well, the old man didn't have a will. The family knew about it. But get this, the car is still downstairs in that garage basement, right? They backfilled in the driveway because it kept flooding, right? And the car is pristine. It's got less than 3,000 miles on it.
Wow.
So when I wrote the fellows, everybody put a crazy number on this car. They said it's worth over $1 million. It's the most original 300 convertible out there,
especially with the Hemi. Yeah,
well, they were all Hemis. They were all Hemis.
Okay. All of those models were okay.
All right, man. So let's talk real estate here.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk real estate. We want to talk about cars. We used to talk about sex all the time. Now we're talking about I don't know, guys. I don't know. Whatever. Cars. All right. So anybody got a deal or something they want to talk about? Going.
Yeah, I got a deal I'm working on.
What do you got, man?
I've got a deal. I've got a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. They closed off the garage, and so it's kind of like unfinished in there. But they were had it listed for 148,000. I've watched this thing. The estimate's gone up like I think about $5,000 since I started on this a week ago.
Right.
It was at like 157. Now it's at 162. But you know, I got a contract for 132.3.
Have there been properties like that sold that were finished off inside?
Yeah. I tell you what, I'll share my screen here.
All right.
See if this will work. All right.
Justin's like a little kid in a toy shop. Look at him sitting there.
How's that?
Just
that
happy,
working?
man.
Just older folks.
Just
There we
happier
go.
than the pig and shit, man.
There you go.
Can you see that, ladies and
Couldn't be
gentlemen?
more
Days on
happy.
Zillow. It's in Indiana. Oh man, Indiana is a great state.
Are you able to see it? Because I'm not
Yep, we
looking.
got you.
Okay,
We got
good.
you.
So right there, there's the house, and the bathroom looks a little rough. Looks like it needs paint throughout. You know, it said it's got new furnace, new kitchen, cabinets. It doesn't look like there's a lot of them there.
All right, look on
There's
the listing. See to the
there's
right. See to the
There's
right.
the
This
closed
house.
off.
Ed. See to
What's
the
that?
right. This listing has been up. Stop a second. Time on Zillow, 16 days. 577 people have looked at this, and only 5 people have saved it. So it's probably overpriced, just to get started with. You know, because people look at the pictures and they're going to say, well, you know, it's that, it's this. What kind of deal you got with them? Is it all cash?
Yeah, I told him it'd be a cash deal. And then here's the house, 148. It's kind of like in a nice little spot, you know, compared to the location's good. But everything else around it is, you know, in that 150 to 250 range. And then as you go this way, you know, there's it gets, you know, average house is like 300,000. So I was having a tough time finding a 2-bedroom, 1 bath to compare it to.
Yep.
But
What are the 3-bedroom, 1 baths going for there?
so they were going for, you know, like 200 and low 200s, mid
Really?
200s.
Really?
Yeah, the 3-bedroom.
All right, so you got this house locked up in a contract right now. Why is it still on Trulia and all?
I don't know. I don't know how to stop that.
All right. Well, you gotta contact these people. How long is your contract for?
I'm going to do the inspection tomorrow, and then I've got 2 days to put the earnest money down after that.
Okay, and then how long can you tie it up?
Well, that hasn't been discussed at this point. She needs 30 days. She needs 30 days, and right now we're set up for the end of June to close.
The end of June. That's not giving you a lot of time. What do you want to do with this house?
I'd like to make, you know, $5,000 or $10,000 and pass it off if I can.
Well, it doesn't smell like it's going to be a wholesale deal. It smells more like it's going to be a retail deal to somebody on the street. You know, like a retail customer. I don't know if you got enough money in there for wholesale. If you didn't find any other 2-bedrooms around, I don't know, man. I don't know. They got to have all cash. You try talking terms with them.
Well, you know, I'm going to negotiate that, you know, after I go do the inspection. But this is what it looked like before it had they closed off the garage. So that garage is closed off, and it's also plumbed for a bathroom, she said.
So the
So
garage
that could turn that into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
What's in the middle? What's in the middle between what's right there? The utility room?
That's all garage. So,
So that
here's a picture of that garage. Closed off now.
oh wow.
So that could turn it into a 3-bedroom. So I'm thinking they could, if someone wants to, put the money into it, what do you think about a JV opportunity where, someone might be willing to fix it up and sell it for, that
That back room got the back room already got electricity and plumbing and everything in it for heat.
Yes, as far as I know, they said it was plumbed and closed off.
Wow. Well, you can stick a closet in the wall, get a CO, and call it a 3-bedroom. I don't know. You do that in some states. Your question is, well, how can I help you with this? What do you need?
Well, I was talking to a wholesaler tonight, and I was going to call him tomorrow and talk about a possible JV on it. If he wanted to, this guy usually buys them and then, puts the money into it and then sells it. So I was hoping for maybe like a 60-40 deal, maybe on something like that, or maybe he would just give me $5,000. I'd be happy to get my first deal done and move on.
Yeah, I see. Well, if he's gonna, so he does rehabs.
He does. They do it all.
That's great. Take your $5,000 and get out.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't let your first deal be. It should be simple. Keep it simple. But
Right.
I don't know. If you want to go check the house out and all that, see what you can do to get some extra time so you can market this thing and see if you can sell it.
So-
you don't need a JV deal. You just need somebody to buy it. So you haven't marketed this yet or done anything with it yet?
No, and I sent her my deal, and she had a friend who was a realtor that was helping her, and they ended up sending me a new contract via her, which was fine. But they put that the escrow to be started 2 days after the inspection, and then
How much you giving them? How much do they want?
I said 500.
Okay, well, could be worse. $500
thought
is not going to. It's only going to buy you enough time to get to the end of the month. That's not enough time.
Yeah, so my thought is going to do the inspection tomorrow and then using the next day or two to decide whether I'm going to just tell them I'm getting out or try and find someone to slip it off to for.
I wouldn't even bother with the inspection. I'd do it first. But whatever, you already got the inspection, or you got somebody coming in doing it. You're doing it yourself.
Give me your thoughts. I was going to do it myself.
Yeah. You know about foundations and plumbing and electrical and all that.
Yeah. Enough to hurt myself, but kind of went over all that information last week with Justin. He kind of went over the magic, I believe 5, and talked about all the stuff we should be looking at. And I know a lot of it's kind of unfinished, so I know there's some room maybe to renegotiate, and
All right.
maybe get her down, her price down.
Yeah. Well, the issue is it's just. I don't know what the rest of the history is on this thing. If this has been listed and it's gone on and off the market, who knows?
No.
Drag it down and see what's happened there. This is Zillow. Drag it down.
Well, I guess in short, what's your thought? What would you do?
Me?
Yep.
I just looked to flip it quick. Number one is they got to take all the advertising they got going on off the internet. So
tell me, how does that normally work when you get that done? How does that normally work when you get an agreement under contract and that's on Zillow and Redfin and all that?
They've got to give you the okay, or you got to have in your agreement they're not going to market your house anymore. They're not going to market this house while it's under contract. And if they find somebody that's interested in the property, that they're going to turn them over to you. Good luck with that. But
right,
you put that inside there. But you want them to turn over the advertising that they have on these big websites, because how are you going to market this thing if you're giving them, how much you giving them for the house?
I offered 132.3, and
they said go,
and she said yes.
Well, so if you got 145 or 148 for a clean deal, you'd probably just sell it also. You got to get this off the internet first thing in the morning. You call them and say, hey, I'm really surprised you're still advertising this house. I'm in contract with you. Why are you doing that? Get that off, and then you start marketing this thing, and you'll know really, really quick whether or not you got somebody for it. You could also pick up the phone and call a couple of brokers in the area. Once you got the contract, once you're in concrete, you got the, and find out what these, if they got players for these. Go on PropStream. See what's sold around there. See what wholesalers or rehabbers are bought in the area, and that tab is on there now for flipping, and you can get a good idea as to what stuff is selling for around there, and how long they've been on the market, and what the cost per square foot is on a retail.
Very
And
good.
that's all she wrote, man.
Very good.
That's what I would do with it.
Hey, Steve. So, real quick question. I don't apologize for interrupting. Hello to everybody. My name is Hervik. First time on the call with Steve. You said that the way you would do it is you put it in the contract that this property is no longer going to be marketed once it's on the contract.
Well, you want to, if your goal is not to buy it and turn it into a rental or buy the house for yourself, if your goal is to turn the property, you're either going to wholesale it, or you're going to try and end buyer it, or you're going to sell or finance it. Whatever you're doing, your hands are tied if your seller is still marketing the property. So you want to get this thing off the market. He's got to turn.
Unless it's under an option, right, Steve?
No, it's not under an option. He's in contract to buy it.
He can't sell it to somebody else.
That's fine. But if he wants to go out and market it, right now, Ed wants to market this house. How's he going to do that and be successful at all when his seller is still marketing the house?
So can I have them switch the contact information over to me?
You might be able to.
Is that what's the norm? How does that?
I don't know. Most of the time when I get this thick into it, I've already told them they've got to take it off the web, so they can just go on, like on Zillow. You can just say, you can just Zillow, just nullify it or whatever it is, and it'll show back up without anybody's attachment to it.
Market is pending or sold?
No, not pending. It just, you're no longer marketing it. He's done. I don't want to market it that it's sold, that it's pending, nothing. It's just gone. That's it. It didn't go anywhere. It's gone.
Hey, Steve. So you put that in your contract that they're not going to market it anymore. But how does the conversation go?
Well, they know going in the doorway that I'm not moving into their house. So since you're looking to buy this property and make a profit on it, and you're probably going to maybe spend some money on it, cleaning it up or doing, maybe finishing, like this house needs that back garage conversion done, that, it's only fair to me that you're not muddy in the water. We're still advertising this property. You and I have a deal. We shook on it. We signed on it. I inspected it. We're going forward with a closing. You got to give me some more time. You got to be fair, but it's not going to be fair to either one of us. Well, especially me, if you're still advertising the property. If you're still advertising it, I'll walk away. You sell it, then obviously there's something wrong somewhere, So if this guy's motivated to sell this thing, motivation is everything. If he's motivated to sell it, that's great. If he's just collecting leads because he's got a dozen other houses out there that he's selling, you're going to have a problem. See what I mean? So PropStream tells you how many properties the guy owns within reason. PropStream will tell you what's going on in the area with homes that have been sold, up for sale, how long, cost per square foot. You can narrow this thing down to how many ants are crawling across the front lawn. So I think I'd start there, but I'd have a conversation with them and yank this thing off or make sure they yank it off the internet or turn it over to you. Is that right?
Got it.
I have another question for you in kind of the same subject.
Sure.
What if I'm picking a property up off the MLS?
Okay.
The realtor's not going to bring it down. They'll probably market pending.
They'll market pending. This is I'm assuming that this deal that it's got, it's a private sale. It's just for sale by owner. For sale by owners, you go in and you create, your deal is limited to your imagination and what both sides will agree to. When you're talking with a realtor, it depends how long this thing's been on the market for. If it's been on the market with a realtor for a while, he might just take it off the net. Depends. Have a conversation with him. look, this has been on the market for 7 months. I want this house. I'm going to contract on it, made my down payment. Take the damn thing off the internet. And they can just take it off. They can cancel it. They can withdraw it. And their contract is still good because they got you by the hook.
You know, it was only on the market for like 3 days when I got a hold of her, and I gotta say, I wanted to share this with you guys as well. That you know, when I was talking to her, she said that, you know, the reason that she, you know, really you know, wanted to do, you know, the agreement with me was because I was the only one that called her. She said she was getting, you know, hammered with text, you know, day in and day out for those first couple days.
Great?
And she's like, no, but no one called her. Everyone was just texting her. She's like, I was the first person to call her.
A human being. They are still alive. All right. Anything else, Ed?
No, that's it. I appreciate your help.
Good work, man. Make it happen.
What's your suggestion as far as getting an extension on it of some sort?
Probably you need more time. Tell her tomorrow. Or if you're dragging this thing out, you're getting a week away from the close and say, hey, I got good news, I got bad news. I'm going for funding on this. And they're telling me this either isn't worth the money, or and all of a sudden they want much more time. So I said, listen, we can crash and burn. You're going to do your deal subject to something. I don't know, whatever your Houdini clauses are going to be. But I'd say I need more time. I need a month. I need another month. I need 45 days to close. I got to raise this capital. You know?
Are you trying to get an extension on the inspection period?
No.
Or on the whole contract?
On the contract.
So the whole contract. So I have to close at the end of January or June.
Gotcha.
See, these are all things that normally get nailed down before you sign a contract. So you know, you should have a checklist alongside it sitting at your desk if you're talking with them over the telephone, or if you're in person. I mean, go in there with a clipboard. Say, listen, and nonchalantly say, listen, I'm going to need 60 days. You're not in a hurry to get out of here, are you? You lived here 30 years. I mean, what's another couple of months? You know, whatever. When do you want to move? I'll close when it's comfortable for you. You know, that's what I would do. All right, Ed.
I've had realtors come to me and say on deals that I've made offers on, and I'll say I made the offer poorly because they came back to me and said, yeah, that's great. We'll accept your offer, but we're going to keep marketing going and accept backup offers in case something happens and you fall out. And I'm just like, okay, well, see, that's where I should have been more intuitive here and said, you know, in my offer that they would remove marketing during this time. That makes sense. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
It's totally a negotiation because they'll come at you with that kind of stuff.
How do you
want to make sure they're going to get paid?
How do you normally handle the Zillow and all the you know, the media that is out with that home that you contracting with, Justin? How do you handle switching the Zillow and marketing?
It doesn't.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. When I'm doing a lease option deal, like if this one was 148,000, if I contracted it even at 142,000, I know my rent to own price is going to be 158,000 or whatever. Okay, so you know, folks will call and they'll say, hey, or they'll message and they'll say, hey, I saw. Usually this happens after we're already talking to them about doing the rent to own deal. They'll say, hey, I saw this other ad that said the house was, you know, 148 and you were telling us 158. So what's going on here? You know, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, of course you saw our cash price. So if you were buying cash today, we would do it at 148, but this is the rent to own price. So, you know, you're not interested in buying cash today, are you? You're interested in the rent to own? Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's usually the response. Oh, okay, yeah.
And it makes no sense at all.
No.
But that's okay.
You know.
You had an answer. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right. Ed, you got to take us off the share screen, bud.
Okay.
We're unsharing.
Hey, I don't mean to harp on the same subject, but what if a realtor comes back and says, you know, why do you want me? You know, properties, I always keep them on the MLS listed. why do you want me to take it off the, off the MLS?
I don't know any realtor that won't mark it as pending. That's what they do. So, and pending's okay. It's just what I'm referring to is when they've shown the property that I just had an offer accepted on, they're still showing the property to other potential buyers and accepting offers, contingent on this one not going through or whatever. It's
all about motivation.
Yeah.
If this has been on the market for 60, 90 days, they'll stand on their head. They'll do what you want. But if this house has only been on the market for 5 days, I don't know. I don't know how much of a, she's not represented by a real estate agent. So we got an agent on here. Rick, speak up, my friend.
99 out of 100, I'm not dealing with an agent either. I'm dealing straight with for sale by owner.
Yeah. Rick's an agent out in California. I don't know how he handles these.
Just looking at the repairs on that house too, I was like, well, probably need a paint job inside. That garage or the garage that was closed up, that's going to need a new full-size bathroom and laminate flooring, and the other bathroom needs to be done. And I was thinking there's going to need some, air conditioning and heat unit probably out to that if we turn it into a bedroom out there. So, just kind of working off a little program I have. That's about $30,000 in repairs.
You got Ionati's check sheet?
I do. I worked it up off of that Real Pro.
Okay, well, if you're already in contract, you got to go back and reopen the contract. If you're not, or you use your time that you're going to use for inspection to go back and say, listen, I wasn't aware it needed all this and this and this. We got to go back and we got to talk about a lot of things. So, open the door. It's another reason to open the door. That's all it is.
Yep.
All right. Who else has got something they want to chat about here this evening? So we got some new people on there.
Hey, sorry, man. If you said something
in the chat room, hi.
Oh, go right ahead.
What a gentleman.
Rick?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I don't know.
Yeah, I sent a question in the chat room.
Okay, we're all live. What's your question?
You want me to read it, Gulia?
Ed, I can't click on this thing.
It says, have a question, duplex free and clear. Can we offer seller finance or lease option?
There you go. You got to deal with, you can't break the duplex. You got to deal with an investor that wants to buy it and maybe live in one side, or he's going to come in as an investor and lease out both sides of the property. Or you deal with a family that wants to just buy it and live in it. Maybe it won't be a duplex anymore. Who knows? It's possible. Real estate, you're only limited by your imagination and what both sides of the fence are going to agree to. You can do a lease option. You can do seller financing. You can whatever. There's no limits.
That's right.
There's no limits.
That's right.
Hope I answered your question.
Anybody interested in deals in St. Louis? Steve, or do you buy deals in St. Louis?
No, I don't go down that far, man.
Rats.
I had a question.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah, was that answered or I missed that? I'm sorry, I had that connection. I'm driving.
Oh, you're driving. You can lease option. You can seller finance anything, whether it's a single family, a multi-family. It doesn't matter. This is a duplex.
Okay,
this is a duplex, a two-family house, right? So you'd have to. So you need. Who wants to buy duplexes? Most of the time, it's someone who's maybe looking for some extra money and they want to live on one side, or it's an investor like me or you that wants to buy it and live on, sit back and collect cash flow every month. So yeah, you can do this. You can do it on anything. You can lease option it. You can seller finance it. Whatever. Was your I think you asked about lease optioning it. I don't have the key. I can't open up that chat.
How do I structure the offer?
How do you structure the offer?
Yeah.
Well, I need to know a lot more about the deal in order to help you with structuring the offer. What do you want to do with the house, first of all?
No, I just run to someone. I mean, it's a, since I have no experience, I was wondering what can I do with that, and yeah,
Well,
I have to get, I just someone I talked to on Saturday, I believe, and I have to get back to them.
The
I'm
best thing
supposed
you
to get
do,
back to them.
the best thing you can do, okay, because what we talk about on here is more advanced strategies, all right? And
Sure.
not that I'm passing the buck here, but the fundamentals on putting this deal together, you should be talking to Justin in that group tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right. So you can bring this exact deal to them, and they'll show you. They'll show you different options where you can go.
Okay.
All right. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Rick, you back, Rick?
Rick's trying
Yeah. Sorry, man. I was
Rick's
on the
trying
other
to
line.
apologize.
We had no biggie. We had somebody on the line talking about how do you deal with a real estate with buying a property, and a real estate agent is representing the property. This is assuming per se. How do you get that property off the internet so you can turn it around and flip it? Let's say the house has been on the market for 6 months and you're the savior that comes, not you, but I'm buying it, and now I trot into the town and I'm buying this house, and no one's looked at it for 3 months. Now I want to market this, but it's still being marketed on Zillow and Trulia and everybody else. Have you seen realtors that'll agree to take these things off the net, off the internet while it's still in contract?
Well, a lot of times to get it off the internet, you have to take it off the MLS, because a lot of these companies, they feed off the MLS, directly or even indirectly. So, they could either market to pending with some notes, like some agent notes that's in there, or they could take it off.
Just withdraw
and just withdraw it or whatever. Or, sometimes even the seller would just ask them, hey, look, man, this ain't working out. It's been 6 months. I've already extended you twice. We're just going to cancel this thing.
There you go. Great advice. You heard it from a realtor.
That would be the best, would obviously to try to just get them to cancel it if it's not working out anyway. Just don't even deal with the realtor. But, that's a conversation that has to be had because sometimes there's properties that are for sale by owner, and then they get the realtor involved where the realtor wasn't involved to begin with too. And then you have to watch out for those contracts because most of the realtor contracts takes off all the things that we want on a contract. So you really got to pay close attention to that.
It's amazing. It's all about the realtor.
Yeah.
Let me see. 4 pages about what my responsibilities are to the realtor, and 2 paragraphs about the realtor, and a half a page about the house. Wow.
Pretty much.
You should do like a whole class on that, Rick.
Yeah. Right.
That'd be awesome.
Oh man.
What about a for sale by owner, Rick?
What about it?
If they have it all on, Trulia and Zillow and all that, can you get them to switch the contact information over to you?
Make you owner of the listing on Zillow?
Yeah.
It could be the main point of contact. Have you done that, Justin? Where they just leave it, but the main point of contact ends up being you because you have it under contract? I guess it depends on if it's a purchase or an actual option, like exclusive or not. There's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah, if it's a signed agreement, wouldn't it be appropriate to say I'd like to have all the contact information sent to me, especially if you upfront with the assignment or whatever,
It would be better just to have that conversation and just have them take it off. That's me.
Yeah.
I would rather just them completely remove it, so I don't have to deal with it.
I've hijacked it before. I've hijacked it, taken it over, seen the seller get mad at me. Okay.
Yeah.
I've also just asked them to take it down, and I've seen them say yes many times, and I've seen them say no. Okay. But sometimes it's not necessary. It is necessary sometimes on these ugly deals or something like that, where there's a big price difference and it's in the way. It's the other sites that bother me when they're on everything. Okay, when it's not just Zillow, it's Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and whatever else. It's like, golly, I'm competing
just
here.
Put in your contract that they've got to abandon all that advertising. You want to make it clear? Just be very blunt about it. You got to, now this is when you're talking about not that there's no realtor involved. So you hereby agree to abandon all sales efforts, including but not limited to the internet, print advertising. You can put anything in there you want.
Yeah.
If you're worried about it, because what are you going to do with this place? You're going to walk around town, dropping notes in people's mailboxes, trying to sell it. You're going to go on the internet, and you want this damn thing off of there. So, and it's got to be timely. There's a lot of things that got to come into place for this deal to go through the way you want it to go. You're going to have to get more time.
I've contracted,
but
I've contracted a lot of deals with realtors on properties that were on the MLS, and they market pending. But at the same time, it was, let's say the house was listed for 100,000. I ended up getting it under contract for 75. Okay. Me sending the property out to my buyers list, I had buyers come to me and say a couple things that surprised me. One is the question, well, hey, we looked this property up on Google and everywhere it's 100. So what's going on here? It says it's listed or it's pending. I mean, what's going on? And then you just tell them, hey, no, I just put that under contract and I'm selling the contract. If you guys want a cheap deal, let's talk. Is that what you guys are wanting to do? So the question comes up, but that's usually the extent of the conversation. And then second, that's just handling it with your buyer. But then also I've had buyers tell me, and this kind of surprises me, that they'll say, oh, well, we don't buy anything off the MLS. And I'm like, no matter how cheap it is, no matter how much the shoe fits, it's in your neighborhood, it's in your wheelhouse. Oh no, it's an MLS property, so we're out. And I'm like, I don't get that. Can anybody explain that to me? But I have several buyers in my local market that have told me that. Does that make sense to anybody? Why they would be so staunch against it?
Difference does it make? I mean,
I don't know what difference it makes. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Just what they've dealt with by their own history with dealing with I guess agents and realtors or whatever it is. Who knows?
That 3 to 6% voodoo. It's like paying
they're not
interest.
paying it anyway.
Like paying
You're on the buy side.
Oh yeah.
They may think they're paying for these commissions, which are unnecessary. So that's just a talk that you would probably have to have. Like, look, this is on the MLS, but I got it for 20,000 below market, and you're not paying a single damn dime for commissions. So you still don't want this? You want me to sell this to your competition? You really don't want this?
Yeah.
You just tell them, hey, I got a better deal than the realtor.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna give you a hard time like the realtor.
Yeah, and the fact is that's so true.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Look at this guy. He's a hitter. He's coming up here all the first night and hitting it right out of the park. I love it, dude.
All right, what else we got? Anybody else got any deals you want to talk about? Questions? Seller financing, creative financing. Don't be shy.
I got one on with some seller financing. I got the deal locked up, and I got a buyer, and they just sent me $1,000 down on the assignment fee.
Right.
I stand to make $7,000 on it. I was kind of I was trying to throw it together however I could. It was supposed to be a wholesale deal where I was going to make a cash offer, but the seller didn't take my cash offer of $75,000. She wanted 100, and I said, look, there's another way I could try and get you somewhere close to 100. Would you take 95 with 5,000 down? I'll pay you like $750 a month for 12 months. I thought maybe I could get a rehabber interested in it, where they just have to pay the $750 a month, and they got 12 months to rehab it and sell it. But I put it on Zillow, and I came across a buyer that wants to buy it and live in it, and they're willing to pay me a $7,000 assignment fee. They also went on to say, hey, I'll pay you $1,400 a month, but I need 3 years. And then I went to the seller without thinking twice, and I told her, hey, I got somebody. She knows what I'm doing. So I got somebody interested. They want 3 years, but they're willing to give you $1,400 a month. And I feel like I jumped too quick to call her. Yeah. I should have, because the guy's offering $1,400, I should have figured out a way where I could collect a little bit of a difference.
Oh yeah.
Irving, did your first deal?
No, well, it's this. I've done a lot of wholesale deals.
Okay.
This is the first seller financing deal.
Seller financing is a great thing.
It seems like it.
When
Yeah.
you look at a transaction like this, and the house needs work or it doesn't need work.
Yeah, no, it needs work. It needs about 50 grand in work.
Needs 50 grand in work. So when they get done with the house, how much is it worth? If they have to put the 50 grand, if you put the 50 grand in it,
It's gonna be worth a bit over 200, maybe like 215.
And what are you contracting for?
I got it under contract for 95 grand, and I'm selling it for 102.
Wow. Well, here's what we probably would have told you. You got this on a lease option. Or you're getting on a lease, a rent to own lease option from the seller.
It's not a lease option. It's owner financing, seller financing.
Contract. Outright contract. Oh man. My goodness. Well, what I would have, you got built-in financing, and you can do business with a wholesaler or a rehabber. Forget a wholesaler, a rehabber with built-in financing. That's probably at least a $20,000 down deal. I would imagine $15,000 down deal with probably another some more money on the back end. But and you can even sell it on a contract for deed. What state's it in?
It's in Georgia.
Yeah, well, Georgia's got some sweet laws down there. You could just sell it and hold a note, balloon it out. You could do a lot. But
yeah.
the bottom line is, what do you want to do? If you just want to collect 5, 6, 7 grand and move the contract over, that's an easy deal for you. You're thinking like a wholesaler. I got to get you to start thinking like a bank.
That's
the
what I'm
banks
on.
take all the money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was thinking like a wholesaler, correct. And I said, hey, I'll make a quick 7. Awesome.
So if you're thinking like a bank, just go backwards a minute. That's what we're supposed to be talking about here. Go wheel it back to the beginning. All right. You offered her a $95,000 sale. She approved it. She could give you 12 months financing. She approved that. You gave her that. And did you talk about doing anything as far as interest or anything on her deal? All right. And now you're buying, you're in contract, you're going to buy this house. She's turning the title over to you, right?
Yeah.
So now you own it. Now, if I'm sitting in your shoes, I've got built-in financing for 12 months. I've got a home that needs $50,000 worth of work. It's worth over $200,000 in the back end. What does a rehabber need when he wants to go out and buy and when he wants to do a deal? He's a lot of times they're raising capital privately or hard money to even go out and purchase these deals. All right. If you brought this deal to the guy on a silver platter and said, listen, here's what we're going to do. You could JV with the guy. You could seller finance it to him or go all the way out and wrap it and tell him he's got a 10-month balloon or a 1-year balloon. Remember, if it's business to business, Dodd-Frank is not involved. So it's a business to business transaction. All right. Which is where you want to keep it. You want to make sure you will put in the agreement that this guy is not going to go in and occupy this property and live in it. He can't rent it out. You're only doing this deal subject to him improving the property. And you're going to have a list of things that he agrees to and he wants to do. And you're going to put it together that way. Would you lease it to the guy? Would you sell it to the guy? I don't know. You know, you could just lease option it to the guy. All right. Now he's working on your house. That might be dangerous for you on a liability side, but think about that. You lease option it to him, and he's got the right to put all this work and money into this house over a set period of time and cash you out for X amount of money. It's not going to be $105,000. Probably 130 or probably 120, 130,000. Do the numbers, back them out. Look at what his cost of capital will be. That's going to you. You got to get some money up front from this guy. Maybe you just charge him interest per month. All right. And when the end comes, when that 10 months or 12 months is up, you got to be ready to make sure that this guy he's going to be able to cash out, or you're going to have to go out and refinance this house. Bring in a private lender and refinance it. You know, to take out or go back and renegotiate with the seller on the financing side. That's one way to do this. There's a dozen different ways. If you can go in and play the banker, it's like anything else. You're not limited by, you're just limited by your imagination. And if this person's motivated to make a deal happen, you might beat up. And a lot of people like the idea that they're going to freshen up their house, make it look a lot better than it does now. So think about that aspect of it. Think about more of being a banker. Wholesale is okay if you want quick money. Long term, I mean, to do 1 year with this person on financing, what if they got 3 years out of her? What if you gave her $125,000? No interest, no payments, $20,000 down up front. You bring in a private investor for 20 grand, and now you got 3 years. Now, how many options have you got?
Wow. Yeah.
You deal with this. You deal with the person's sense of greed. All right. I've looked at a deal over the weekend up over here. Well, I'm in Florida right now, and people are knocking the doors down, looking at this house. To me, it was junk. They wanted $205,000 for it. So, what would you pay for it? I said, well, what kind of options do we got? The seller's looking to hold the paper and all that stuff. Tell them I'll give them $225,000 for it, my terms. $225,000. Yeah. Everybody walked away. It was leasing for $1,600 or $1,700 a month the way it was. It had been a landlord's, a tenant housing for like the last 10 years. House was pretty beat up, right? So he's okay, let's go to contract. Oh, you didn't hear my terms. He says, you're going to offer me terms. I'm going to give you $500 a month for the next 10 years, and we'll talk about the balance. He goes, what? Well, what'd you expect? I'll give you $225,000 for it. No problem. But be the bank. Think about being the bank. All right. Start maybe even lining up private money for quick deals if you want. I bring in private money for long-term deals, what I'm going to hold, and I'm going to hold long-term and be the bank on the mortgage. All right. So those I do. I love doing those. That's money in the bank, money in my mailbox every single month, and I charge interest. But think about this. Same deal, $130,000 you're going to sell it retail for. All right. You give the seller $130,000 for it. So listen to what I just said. You're going to give her $130,000, no interest, no payments. All right. Give her $20,000, $10,000 down, whatever. All right. No interest, no payments for 3 years. Right. 3 years comes along. You've already sold this house. You got somebody in it that's paying you 10% interest on the same $130,000, and he gave you $10,000 down. Which deal would you like better?
I like the long term, getting money monthly, 10%.
I mean, that's arbitrage. When you see if the money doesn't cost you anything, if it's 0% interest, and you can put the money out for 6, 7, 8, 10%, do it. Spread that out on a calculator and see what the numbers look like. It'll blow your mind. When people really get how much money you can actually make just arbitrage and loans and all, it'll blow your mind. That's where the money's at. You go to a closing, who's the first person to get paid?
Payoff.
Who's the first person to get paid?
Oh, the first person to get paid was the seller, right?
No, the bank. The bank.
Bank, okay.
I think you said that. Yeah, the first person to get paid is always the bank. Why? Because they're in complete control. I love being in control of my destiny and my money. So I don't do a lot of joint ventures. You could, but I just don't. I don't have a reason for it. If you structure the deal right, you know what you're doing going in, you'll be all right. Can you go back and renegotiate this deal, you think, Harvick, or it's a done deal?
I could have, but I already signed the assignment to the person that's coming in and
oh, so it's done. You
Yeah,
made
but
money. So you watch for the next one. There's plenty of deals. Go watch for the next one. Congrats. We need the cowbell here. Hey, Justin, wake up.
Well, it's got to close. It's got to close.
No, it's all right. We'll give you the bell tonight anyway if he's got it there. I don't know. Anyways, man, that's great. That's great news. Congrats. Make the money. You'll close it. It's a cheap deal. You'll close it. Very good. Very good. All right. Anything else, Harvick?
No, but I spoke with Justin earlier today, and I told him that, after listening to one of your calls a couple weeks ago, you said something about just some of the biggest golden nuggets you've gotten are just from shooting the breeze with somebody, having a beer, and the courses and everything are great, but just being around like-minded individuals, just shooting the breeze is where you get those big money making ideas. And this is exactly it. I knew I had something more on my plate, but I was thinking like a wholesaler. Being on a call like this opens my eyes to other, and I'm able to gain that knowledge. Thank you, Steve, for opening my eyes on other possibilities.
With these Zoom calls, it's like, we're sitting around in somebody's basement, tossing the beer around, having fun. And we're just shooting the shit, as they say in New York, So I have fun doing this. Justin pays me a lot of money too. Every week we do this, I put another zero on my paycheck. So Justin's a big guy. All right, guys. What else we got? Anybody else got something?
Hey, Steve, where you do your deals? What state?
Primarily Florida, North and Alabama, a little bit here and there in New York. I'm
When you
really
come,
not crazy about New York.
when you coming back to New York?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you still live in New York, right?
Well, I sold my house in Massapequa. Thank God. $40,000 a year in taxes. Goodbye. Finally sold that sucker. I lived there for 26 years. And I'm actually, get this, I'm a tenant now. I'm renting a house out in East Long Island because my wife won't leave Long Island, and I really don't want to leave either. We have so much family and friends. So I rented a house out in East Long Island, and we're down here in Kissimmee right now. We got a house in Kissimmee that we rent out. It's furnished, like 5 minutes from Epcot, Disney's park. So, but my wife and my son are flying home tomorrow. I'm going to drive back. I got some stops I want to make. So, but I'll be home in a couple of days.
Steve, how do you find your type of deals? Seems like you do a lot of creative seller finance type stuff.
I'm not doing a lot of anything. I want to go into retirement mode. I'm honest to God, right? This to me is a fun. It's a serious business. You can lose your ass. You can make a lot of money, and the other business I was in was finance and automobiles. And I made an obscene amount of money in that, and I lost an obscene amount of money in that. So, I mean, it's the way it goes, man. It's the way it goes. I enjoy working, and I enjoy putting deals together that people say you can't do. Now, there's no way. Nah, forget it. You're wasting your time, right? I had a guy 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine down here in Florida, looking at a house that's $500,000, and the house is not worth $500,000, but he can get such great financing with this guy. But the bottom line was this guy's magic number was, I think it was 500, and it was some oddball number, but let's just say it was 500,000. Beautiful home, nice area, but he's overpriced by like $100,000. Where are we going with this house? He goes, you got to come see it. I said, what for? He goes, help me put a deal together. All right, so we go there, and the guy is like close to 80 years old, and he doesn't need the money, and he's going to retire. I mean, he's going to retire. He's going to move in with one of his kids, and he's by himself in a house. He don't need this damn house, and he's counting the days till he can move, but he's got to get this 500,000, right? So we start talking. We're in his living room, and he says, well, so what do you think about the money? I said, I think you're out of your mind. I think you're asking too much money. I said, but if we can make the terms work, maybe we can make this happen. And he sat up in his chair and he goes, let's hear it. So what did I do? He's seller financing the whole deal, right? To cash flow this house, all right? This house will rent. If he were to rent the house out, he's going to rent for about $3,500 a month. Beautiful home, right? So now I got to put the numbers together with this guy so that with all of our deductions for rentals, reserves, breakdowns, everything else, you're going to come back out with a number where your net, what you're going to net every month. Now I want to take out what I'm going to wind up paying this guy, and what kind of a profit do you want? So we did all this, but we couldn't make the thing cash flow with making payments to this guy at $500,000. So what do we do? I says, well, here's what I'll do. I'll give you a $50,000 note, separate note, that's due in 10 years. He goes, yeah. I'll give you another $50,000 note that's due in 15 years. Says, yeah. And I'll give you another $50,000 note that's due in 20 years. No interest, no payments, no nothing. They're due on those terms. So 10, 15, and 20. Now, I just took $200,000 worth of debt off the table, right? So now we're only talking about him financing $300,000. At $300,000, this thing sells, right? Now his $50,000 notes, right? No interest. They're securitized. They're going to be securitized by the property, right? They're all separate notes, separate mortgages, right? And I guarantee you, within 5 years, each one of those will be cashed in for a novelty amount of money, because this guy will probably be gone. All right, he's not the healthiest guy in the world, and his estate's going to want the money. So he's got 150 grand there. You could probably settle it for cash for 60, 70 grand. So what did you just get the house for? 360, 370 grand. That was the market. See? So we split fund. We didn't split fund it. We actually broke his seller financing down because the 500,000 didn't make sense. So you can back into a deal, look at what your net is, take away your profit you want, and offer them the rest, or from what's left over, and so we can do this in stages. See what you can see, how much debt you can retire in that short period, in that period of time, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Or you can, the guy is really, really aching you and he wants interest. Say, you know what, I'll tell you what, I'll give you interest in 5 years. In 5 years, I'll give you, instead of giving you 3% interest now, how about we do this? How about I give you 0% interest for the first 5 years? And then starting on 5 years and 1 month, I'll give you 2% interest. And then in 8 years, I'll give you 4% interest. And then in 10 years, I'll give you 6% interest, whatever. When you do it that way, look at a schedule of pay down, how fast a loan pays off with 0% interest or a low interest rate. Or every payment you make goes towards the principal. So now if I'm giving him interest and it's 5 years down the road to start, and it's only at 2 or 3%, who's winning? I'm winning. It's all how you structure these things. And you're just limited by your imagination, man. Any comments? Throwing a rope out there.
Steve, then you would have taken this house and you would have flipped it to a retail buyer, right?
You mean would I have taken this house?
No, like the way you did it, all you would have to do now, the notes that you send it to him,
right?
You made the number become the market value, which is about 350, right?
Well, the 350 today, and we're looking down the road as to what this thing could possibly be worth down the road, 10, 15, and 20 years from now. I'm not worried about the thing being worth that money. But I also know by experience, there ain't no freaking way this is going to go out 10, 15, and 20 years. Especially when you're dealing with someone that's at this age and they're going to have an estate. And this money's going to go to his grandkids and all that, and his family. And what do they want? They don't want notes. They don't want notes. They want cash. You can't eat a note, you know.
But you would have. What would you do with the house now? Then you would have sell it for the price for 350, or
no, that's what you would have. Well, first off, this fellow's going to move into this house. He's not buying. He didn't buy it to lease it out. He didn't buy it to do a rent to own or anything like that. He's moving into this house. He really wants this thing, right? So, but when I put a deal together, I look at the worst case scenario. What if? You got to have more than one exit strategy. I don't care if you're in love with the house. That's great, man. If it's a pig in a poke and this is the only one that's around, and you got to get rid of it in a hurry, you're stuck. So I don't do that. So what could you're asking me? Could I have packaged this and retailed it?
Yeah,
sure.
No, because you take into yourself. Why don't you package it and retail it, and then become the bank there and own a finance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in order to do that, all right, I got to recognize the total sale price. So if I recognize the total sale price, and let's say I go out and the house is only worth $350, all right, and I go out and I say, well, listen, I want to sell a house. I got to sell a house for 510,000, whatever the hell his number is, wherever he got it from, right? So let's just say, for argument's sake, that's my number, all right. The way you package the marketing on this for the payment is what's going to sell it. So your payments, you can have I can wrap the mortgage, right, and do a wrap the mortgage when it includes all these pickup payments, these 3 notes, which I'll benefit, not him. If they pay it down earlier or whatever it is, that's to my benefit, not him. I'd wrap a new note around this whole shebang and give him an interest rate of 3 or 4% on it. What do I care? And let him just pay me down. I'm not paying anything as far as interest anyway. So you could do that, and that's going to be to what they call what Eddie Speed would call a penalty box buyer, a fellow that just can't get a mortgage right now. He's got a lot of cash, but can't get a mortgage right now. I might even sell it to him for $600,000. When you sell a financing the thing and you're holding the note and you're controlling it all, you're in control. The people today, all they see is payments. It's crazy. Look at what's going on in this market. Look at what's going on. It's absolutely insane. The United States is becoming a total payment market, total payments. Everything's about the money. The payment, it's not about the value, not about the total cost. Anyways, so we're all here. Anything else there, Mag? I think that was you asking the question, right?
Yeah, I was just, yeah, thank you. I think I'm starting to get things. The more I stay around you, the more I understand this. It's
fun, man. It's fun thinking it up. And there's plenty of other guys around that offer the same type of thing. If you really want to find out about breaking down deals, listen to everybody. You really want to find out about breaking down deals? I'm an amateur at this compared to a guy out there called Eddie Speed. Eddie Speed's done the most consumer. Well, he buys notes. He buys notes, mortgages, all of that stuff. He's located down in Texas. I've known him for a couple of years. Good guy, but tells it like it is. You'll see stuff from him all over YouTube. So you want to see about what he thinks about what's going on in the economy, how he thinks the world's going to, what's going to happen over the next 6 months, a year. Go on there and look up Eddie Speed, and you'll see what's happening. And that's the deal. I might even get one of his guys to come on a Monday night. Would you like that?
Yeah, bring him on.
Yeah. I got a guy I want to bring on in a week or two to do everything having to do with subject to deals. This guy's well-versed. And matter of fact, I think he was at one time operating out of Georgia. He lives out west now. But want to bring him on. We've got the Ionati's I'm going to bring back for a pickup as far as an up-to-date as far as information and new things coming, what he sees the market, where he sees the market going. I don't think we need anything else having to do with private financing and private capital. We've had 2 guys on and talking all about that. If you missed that, go back a few weeks and listen to those 2 podcasts that we did, those 2 Monday nights. They were pretty good. Then we got some other guys, and probably somebody else I'm going to bring on just having to do with seller financing. Everything he does is he just buys his properties and holds the mortgages. It's pretty cool. I learned a lot from this guy. So we're probably going to be bringing some more speakers on Monday nights. Then they'll talk, and maybe they'll sell you something. I don't know. Who knows? Everybody's got something to sell today. Isn't it amazing as the market gets tighter, there's more and more people, these gurus around selling stuff? Is that something? Isn't that amazing? What a bunch of shit. Anyways, tell it like it is. All right.
Steve, what are your thoughts on the market then?
As far as the housing market going forward?
Yeah.
I would get political here, and I really don't want to get political here because you can imagine where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Right. I listened to an economist from Chase the other day. Chase, I think it was Chase, and he's pretty smart fellow. And he said, you know, when the real estate market's going to tank, he said, there's going to be when you see a few things happen. He says, first, you're going to see the unemployment rate is going to keep rising. Now, we just had a drop in it, but a month ago, Biden came out and jumped up and down and, they're expecting 800,000 jobs and they only got 200,000. How do you miss the freaking mark by 80% and still go food shopping? I don't know. But they missed the mark. Now this, that's not going to happen 2 months in a row. So I mean, I'm not going to get politics, but you watch the unemployment rate when it starts to climb. You're going to see that. You're going to see just when they decide in Washington they're really going to cut loose these foreclosures to start. You're going to see an avalanche of real estate. It's not going to happen overnight, but over a period of time, and I think it's going to be more regional than anything on a national basis. Like I'm down here in Florida right now, and there's people staying in hotels. Half the hotels full of people that came down from up north and can't even find an apartment. Forget about buying a house. And the other half is full of people that got kicked out of houses because the landlord sold the damn houses. So you're going to have, there's still that glut. There's still not enough real estate on the market, but that problem is going to go away, I think, pretty soon. As soon as they pull the trigger on this moratorium on the foreclosures and all, that'll be the first sign. But understand, all these homes, the way this was explained to me, all these homes that are in forbearance, all these homes that are being put on the side, even if the president says, you know what, it's been, let's say he does this in January, next January, it's been 18 months. And since all this started, 20 months, and we're going to say, I'm going to go back and we're going to take the principal and the interest that you would have paid on your note over this period of time, and we're going to take it and we're going to put it on the back end of your mortgage. Is that okay? Would that be all right with you? Oh, that'd be great. You're forgetting one thing, escrow. The taxes and the insurance on the properties, some of them have been paid, some of them haven't. A lot of them, the banks are taking the money out and they're laying the money out to pay the insurance, to pay the taxes. You go to a high tax state like New York, my house I just sold, the taxes were 40 grand. The insurance was another almost $10,000 a year. So that's 50 grand, right? So now if they go ahead and they reinstate and I got a year and a half worth of escrow to replace, all right, are you kidding me? Is someone gonna, I mean, if I wasn't able to make the payments on the mortgage, how the hell am I going to come up with a year and a half worth of escrow in a situation like that? That's going to affect a lot of it, and a lot of these people have not gotten jobs again. A lot of them, they think that they're just going to ride this out and something great's going to happen. I don't know. Do I think? But going back to your question, the market, there's going to be a lot of houses around. I'm collecting cash right now. I'm holding on to cash. I'm looking at subject tos, lease options on businesses, that kind of thing, where I can get a nice paycheck and go to McDonald's.
Happy Meal.
That's it. I'm eating the 99-cent meal, man. I'm tough. It's tough out there. So what else, guys? What else you want to chat about tonight? Anything else? It's getting late. I think we lost Justin. Did we lose Justin?
Yeah.
He might have bailed on us. Unbelievable. The boss bails. Damn. How you doing, Rick?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Doing all right. Got anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to
Did
talk
you
about?
got my email? Did you got my email?
I don't think so.
I sent you one like 10 minutes ago, but I sent you last week one and one before. Sunrise credit.
Yeah, well, if you sent it 10 minutes ago, I'm on this. I don't get it.
No. I know. But I was just
Yeah.
that was just a reminder. That was
I don't
just a
know.
reminder.
If you sent it, I mean, I get probably between 300 and 400 emails a day. So I don't.
Oh.
Unless you give me the high sign and tell me it's on the way, I'm not gonna see it. So.
Oh.
What do you want to talk about? Something we can share?
It was. Remember, we were talking about for the private money. You said you don't want to give the phone number over the phone and email you, so we can talk.
Oh sure. Okay.
It was 3 weeks ago.
Oh well.
So I sent you. I sent you the email.
What part of the
At
country?
that time,
in?
you were traveling to Florida.
Yeah, that's where I am now. What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay, good state.
Yeah.
Good
So
state.
I'm right 2 hours away from Atlanta.
You know what?
75 north.
I'm gonna be in the car all day tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, from in the afternoon anyway, probably up into the wee hours. So I'm driving back up north. So if you
Okay.
want, ring me back. I'll give you a number quick. Write it down.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay.
Now he doesn't have a pen.
No, I do have it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Toll free number 866
Uh-huh.
779
Uh-huh.
3770. Jason, scratch that off.
What was it again? 800.
Yeah, 800. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
800. I love Hemis.
All right. So
Thank you.
yeah,
I wasn't hiding the fact that I was writing it down.
I know. After 2:00 tomorrow Eastern time, give me a call.
Be
All
safe
right.
on the road. Be safe on the road, man. I've made that trip many times.
Oh,
I told you I have that house in Melbourne, and
That's nice.
I made that trip 4 times.
I'm traveling back and forth from Kissimmee back to Fort Myers, where I got a lot of houses. It's 250 miles each way. So I go down in the morning and I get home late at night. My wife is like, "What are you doing all this driving for? That's 500 miles." I says, "Oh, well, yeah, you can make it with your eyes closed after you're doing it for a while."
That's true.
You travel up north and you compare that with traveling down here. This is a piece of cake down here. So at least the roads are flat. There's really no nothing. It's great. I love the highway systems. So
it probably doesn't get real bad, and I'm not sure because I stop in Virginia Beach. That's where I live, but I guess.
Well, Route 4, like it goes across Florida, is pretty hairy. Around Disney and all that, and they're building like crazy down there. Crazy. Yeah. So, but that's really the only spot that Route 4 corridor. The rest of it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And I have been through there, and it almost seems like as you're driving, the new road is being built in your rearview mirror.
Yep.
That's how quick it's under construction all the time.
They don't play around. They don't host around. Well, I'm gonna go load this car up tonight, so I can get out of here early in the morning. So, anybody else got anything quick they wanna have a comment on, chat about, whatever? Questions? Going once, going twice.
Next call is next week, Monday.
Yeah, next Monday we should be back on again, man. I might even have a speaker by then. I don't know. It might just wait till the second week. I don't know. It's kind of touch and go in the summertime. But if you miss it, these calls are recorded, and you can also invite anybody you want to this call. This is an open call, so it's pretty cool. All right. So we're going to say Jason and Hervik and Jerry and Ed and Rick and Rick. Sounds like a law firm. And Aaron, thanks for joining us tonight. We had a pretty good chat, and look forward to seeing you guys during the week and make money. You guys take care. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Safe trip.
Take care.
Hey, bud. You too.